Welcome back to Fast Politics. Now I get to interview you, Jim
Yay, I love it.
Acosta.
Perfect. Less work
Yes,
for me.
I'm going to ask you lots of. No, I think it's more work to be the subject than the object.
Ooh,
Discuss.
interesting. You might be right about that, but for me, not so much, you know. I'll do
See,
as little as possible. All the pressure is on you.
now getting the
I
real
know what
thing
you mean,
here.
though, because sometimes you can just ask a question and then somebody can talk for 45 seconds and it's like,
Right.
"Oh, wait, what were they
Uh,
saying? I'll ask
yeah,
another
you're like,
question now.
where am I? Oh, look, there's something on my phone.
I'm doing
Right,
work."
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like but it is a fascinating moment in American politics.
It
What
really is. I
my
know.
today, Marjorie Taylor Greene, you may have heard of her. Trump had tweeted about her.
Yes.
She had then shown that she got no money from AIPAC. And
I
he
saw that.
got, what, $200 million, some crazy sum of money from
Yeah. Is that the
AIPAC.
Adelsons? What is that?
I cannot begin to quantify. Those numbers were humong I saw the number and I thought it would be like $2 million, like, but it was like,
Yeah.
wasn't it like I mean, it was some
It was a
nutso.
It was a large amount of money. I
Yeah.
saw that. My reaction to all of this can be summed up as fight, fight, fight. This whole I see people rolling out the red carpet.
Yeah,
Welcome Marjorie Taylor Greene
$230
to the resistance. Yeah.
million, $230 million from AIPAC. I don't know how that works. Go on. Yes.
Well, and also, Marjorie Taylor Greene talking about this stuff feels, I don't know, what's the word for it? I guess people will say it's anti-Israel, but it feels kind of,
Sh she has had her as a Jew. She has
yeah.
had her forays with antisemitism before.
She has.
It
Wasn't there
does
a
not
Jewish space laser thing?
yeah,
Yeah.
it does not strike me that her anti-Israel stance is completely due to her belief in the importance of not killing Palestinians.
Yes, I'm guessing that the whole plight of the Palestinian thing is not top of mind for Marjorie Taylor Greene. I
No,
mean, that's just a guess on my part, but putting
I
all of
think
that to
that's
the
right.
side and all of the different rabbit holes we could go down, I mean, people rolling out the red carpet to welcome MTG to the resistance. I mean, please knock that off. Please stop doing that.
She's not
This is somebody I remember in the run up to January 6th when she was putting out videos saying that Donald Trump won the 2020 election in a blowout. I mean, this is somebody who has not just one, but like a whole panoply of batshit crazy conspiracy theories that I don't believe she has abandoned. And so
yeah.
she's not
No,
she's not resistance.
she is not on the side of the left, but
Yeah.
she does, and again, this is something as someone who has covered the you've covered the swamp longer than
Yeah.
I've covered the swamp, and you even live in the swamp, whereas I would never. Um,
Yeah. It's
but
true.
I think it's quite interesting. I do think, and this is not a compliment from Marjorie Taylor Greene in any shape or form, she does truly believe in things which is, I mean, how what percentage of congressional Republicans and Democrats really believe.
Yeah. No, I agree with you, and I think that I mean, she has kind of a knack for getting under his skin, which is a quality I like, and it is a quality that is not shared by many in the Republican Party. I do think that listen, you can say all of the terrible things in the world that you can about Marjorie Taylor Greene, there's a lot to say, but the way that she stood on the side of releasing the Epstein files, I'm just gonna say right now, that should be commended.
Mhm.
Being pro releasing the Epstein files is a good thing. But, there's something going on with the backstory between these 2 that we have not gotten to the bottom of, and it feels like it's gonna bubble to the surface any day now. This does not feel like Trump going after Liz Cheney. There's a dimension to this that I don't think we
I mean,
quite have enough visibility on
we
at this
do
point.
know
Yeah.
he refused to back her Senate campaign,
Yes.
which
Which was
is
probably not
another.
wise on his part, because I mean, one thing that people don't understand, in Georgia, the Republican Party really does not like Donald Trump very much.
Yes,
And there are people like Brian Kemp and so on who and, the Secretary
Brad
of State, Brad
Raffensperger.
Raffensperger. I mean, there's a whole slew of Republicans there who are very traditional, establishment Republicans, and they do not like Donald Trump, and they're pretty out in the open about it.
Right, and then you have a complete nutter who also does not like Donald Trump anymore. Both
Yeah,
different sides of the Republican Party, both
yeah.
not that happy with Trump.
It is a preview of coming attractions, I think, I mean,
Yeah.
the other thing that I did not think we would get to the end of this year, and my prevailing thinking on Donald Trump is he gonna make it to the end of this term? Because he is more and more out to lunch by the day. He seems more detached from reality and just, seems cognitively in a very different place than he was even a year ago.
Are you talking
And
about the naps?
the naps, I mean, the Truth Social posts, the stuff that he is saying, the Somali immigrants and so on. I mean, some of this you could say, well, isn't this all the shit he's been saying since 2015? Yes, to some extent that's true. But it feels like, you look at pictures of him, the bruises on the hands,
Right.
the mysterious absences, the long weekends, there's something going on. And I just, it's a good thing when, I've talked about this, when authoritarians are incompetent. It is
Mhm,
also
thank
a good thing
God.
when they're in a state of cognitive decline. And I think that's where we are right now with Donald Trump.
He definitely has the bruises. Bruises are we keep seeing the bruises. He's trying
Yeah.
everything he can not to show his hands, but he definitely we see the bruises. There's definitely a feeling like he's having trouble staying awake. We saw he
Yeah.
had that North Korean style cabinet meeting, one of my absolute favorite things he does, where they go
Yeah.
around and talk about how great he is. The Secretary of Education, Linda McMahon, known to for mostly being a Trump donor whose husband created WWE and then had to
Yeah.
leave because of he had some I think he had a sexual harassment, right? Is
There was
that
bad
right?
stuff there, alleged
Yeah,
bad stuff.
not good. Alleged bad stuff. She, of course, does the Department of Education because when you think about education, you mostly think about wrestling.
Yeah.
He just nodded the hell out, right? I mean, she
He
was
was
talking and he was,
He
right?
was out. I mean, this was, Mitch McConnell style, like, "I'm just gonna leave for a while, I'll be back," And it was not just during Linda McMahon, it was Marco Rubio, it was several
Right.
people around the table.
Yeah.
I mean, we've gone from, the dear leader treatment to the,
Yeah.
good night grandpa treatment. Like, they're each taking turns, putting Donald Trump to sleep as they go around the cabinet room these days.
I
And
think
it seems
Brooke
to me
Mullins
like this is not the same guy that we saw on the campaign trail even, like, a year and a half ago.
I think
I've been around him enough to know, like, the contrast is there.
think
We don't,
the agriculture secretary, Brooke Rollins,
Yep.
was talking about how great he was and thanking him for preventing hurricanes. And the camera panned over and he was like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Grandpa likes to be told, that he prevented hurricanes, puts them right to bed,
yeah,
right in time for
the
nap
very
time.
soporific.
We can roll out the
Um,
mats on the floor in the kindergarten room and drink our
so,
lemonade and go right to sleep.
so Donald Trump has just 1 year down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Somebody draw me a picture as to how he gets to 2020. Doesn't 2028
3
seem
years.
like a real stretch for him? That seems
He'll
like a
be
stretch.
I
I
I
don't
mean,
I
again, he'll be 82. He
Yep,
has the greatest genes ever. He does seem very tired, though.
he seems extremely tired, and I will tell you, having covered him, up close, where are the press conferences? He doesn't do press conferences. The most he can do now is he brings the little kids into the room and he screams at them and calls them names, and then he sends them away. That's the extent of him doing question and answer time now, is on Air Force One or in the Oval O doesn't do press conferences, doesn't do rallies. Remember
Yeah,
that special
I
election in
know. He loved
Tennessee where he
Yeah,
literally phoned it in. He called Mike Johnson, and Mike Johnson held the cell phone up to the cameras, and
love
Donald Trump was talking about how they can't lose this ruby red district in Tennessee. In the old days, he would have done the hangar rally where he flies in and gets off of Air Force
yeah.
One, and it costs the taxpayers $1 billion. Doesn't do that anymore.
I want to talk to you about something
Yeah.
important. So, Punchbowl News, Jake Sherman, the woman's
Anna
called, I don't know,
Palmer, is that her name?
Anna Palmer, have this congressional newsletter or podcast. It's actually, I think, really good.
They're good. I like them. Yeah.
It's like a resource now that Politico has become whatever it is. You really need Punchbowl because they're really in there.
Yeah. Doesn't feel
But
as grifty or like,
yeah,
ads from the
yeah.
Qataris every 5 seconds. Yeah.
Yes, you
Does
and
that mean
I That was mean, but really needed as I was glazing them. But what I wanted to talk about was none of that, but was actually this. They do these surveys of congressional staffers, which I think are pretty useful. I'm going to read to you the results because I want your hottest take on this.
Mm.
And I think that you will have something to say about this because, all right. So, Hill staffers, okay, so they talk to Hill staffers, they send out this thing. This is the kind of thing Hill staffers love to do because they're
Oh, I
not
know.
supposed to, they're not supposed to be public facing. So here we go. We asked which of the big four in leadership was the most effective. All right. You ready? Did you see this already?
I didn't see this, so this is
Okay.
actually suspenseful for me. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, it's not gonna be though once I start talking. So 54% of senior Democratic aides chose as the most effective leader on the Hill John Thune.
Interesting.
So they said
Wow.
Thune, then they said Minority Leader Hakeem, which
Hmm.
makes sense. So he
Sure.
gets 27%, 13% for Mike Johnson,
Mm.
which makes sense because he's incompetent. And
Yeah.
just 6% of Democratic staffers chose Minority Leader Chuck Schumer as the most effective leader
Interesting.
in the
Well, I mean, Chuck
Democratic
Schumer
Party.
was never a Harry Reid type of guy, was he? I mean, there was the old expression, "The most dangerous place in Washington was between a camera and Chuck Schumer." I mean, he was like sort
Yeah.
of that was his stock and trade. He was sort of the showboating, senator who would gun for spots on the Sunday talk shows and that sort of thing. And I think there are real problems that people have in the Democratic Party with the job that Chuck Schumer has done as the minority leader. And I mean, the question becomes, it's sort of unsenatorial for Democrats to throw him overboard and bring in a different majority leader if they were to take the majority after the upcoming midterms. But that is not surprising me. The other thing that's very funny is that Mike Johnson is even in the running there. I mean, he's on, he wasn't he on a talk show the other day saying, or a podcast saying that he works 18 hours a day or 21 hours a day. He was
He
trying to make it sound as though, he's the hardest working man in show business.
he is,
Literally nobody
but
believes it.
nobody believes it. I mean, my favorite thing about Mike Johnson is that he's bad at his job and hated by everyone.
Yes. There's
Yeah.
no question about it, and this whole Epstein thing, I mean, the way that blazed through Congress was deeply embarrassing for him. I mean, first of all, he tried to he I mean, everybody say, "Oh, the Democrats shut down the government." No, Mike Johnson shut down the government. Like, that's
Yeah.
you can't just say
Yeah.
the Democrats shut down the government. There are people in Washington media who are saying that should be ashamed of themselves when Mike
Yeah.
Johnson actually shut down the House of Representatives and would not swear in Adelita Grill. I guess that was work on his part when he did that. But literally nobody in Washington believes he works very hard. He essentially takes marching orders from Donald Trump, and, he's been delegated the speakership by Donald Trump. That is not the same thing as working as the speaker.
Yeah.
He's not a John Boehner, he's
Yeah.
certainly not a Tip O'Neill or a Nancy Pelosi. Those were real speakers of the House. He is sort of a speaker in name only, it seems to me.
Yeah, I'll be curious to see what happens now with there are gonna be more specials, the his lead will get tighter. I want us to talk for a minute about the other, like, thing that's going on right now, which is basically there's this merger, Warner,
Yeah.
your old place of work,
Oh, yeah.
may or may not get bought by Netflix, though CNN would not be part of that deal. We have Paramount that swept in and thought they were beloved by Donald Trump, and they have this wild set of investors, including the Qataris, who might want to buy
Oh,
Warner
boy.
and also CNN and also Jared Kushner. Jared Kushner, known to be great at running media businesses, discuss.
Yeah, d which one did he own? The New York
The New
Observer or
York
something?
Observer, he ran it into the ground.
I mean, it is sort of where we are right I love that Jared Kushner was, meeting face to face with Vladimir Putin, which I know made everybody around the world feel so much better
Yeah.
about,
He's
Trump resolving.
known
He
to
was a
be
representative of the
skilled.
Trump royal court,
Yeah. Yes.
there at the Kremlin when he met with Vladimir Putin. But, I mean, it is sort of a perfect encapsulation, a perfect crystallization of where we are right now as a country in terms of our media. I mean, I've been saying this for months. Corporate media is in a lousy place right now when we have a system in this country where these giant companies own the news organizations, the most prominent news organizations in the country, and then they can be held over the barrel by the president of the United States. That is not a free press. That is
Yeah.
not an independent news media. And
No.
I think people need to wake up to that reality. I mean, we are just not living in that world anymore. And yes, it is. We can all snicker about Jared Kushner being potentially part of this deal to buy Warner Brothers Discovery, but at the same time, it should send a chill down all of our spines because a member of the Trump family owning that much media in this country feels very Putin-like. It feels
Yes.
very early days Putin in the Russian Federation.
I mean,
And, when
yeah.
you and I both talk to people like Ruth Ben-Ghiat and people who are experts in authoritarianism, and they will tell you, people like Ann Applebaum and so on, that the pace that Donald Trump is on right now, despite his cognitive decline and naps and everything else, is much faster than Vladimir Putin in his pace
Yeah.
in
I
terms
mean,
of consolidating power, and taking over the media is part of that.
I would say the problem with Trump is not so much that he's taking over the media as the media is giving itself over to Trump.
Well, there's that. There's no
Yeah.
question. But it's almost 2 separate things, right? I mean, the bending of the knee issue, that we saw with ABC paying its bribe to Donald Trump and CBS paying its bribe to Donald Trump, that is one thing. But we have
Right.
something sort of, and I've said this before, that Trump has cracked the code in how to hurt the press in this country, and that he has revealed vulnerabilities that I don't think fully appreciated up until this point, that you could cause mischief, you could cause a lot of chaos in these mergers and acquisitions with these media
Right.
companies in a
Right.
way that brings them to heel, that puts them over a barrel and creates kind of leverage that we're not accustomed to seeing in this country. And I think it's very disturbing. And I mean, just today, Trump was threatening to sue 60 Minutes again or go after CBS because of some interview
Yeah.
with Marjorie
With
Taylor Greene.
Marjorie Taylor Greene, he was mad about that Marjorie Taylor Greene. I want to talk to you about
Yeah,
that because I think that's
yeah,
kind of incredible. So,
yeah,
Donald Trump was mad about Marjorie Taylor Greene, and he was upset that she had done this 60 Minutes interview, and it was like it was, I feel like, a great moment because we saw that Donald Trump, like, here Paramount had done so much to suck up to Donald Trump. They
exactly.
had just done everything they could,
Yes,
and yet it wasn't enough.
that's right. And it, I mean, it underlines the point that you and I were just making. Yes, this construct that we have of corporate media in this country is bad, and it's been exposed by Trump and so on. But, the idea that CBS, pays this bribe, pays this bullshit settlement to Trump, and they think, "Whew, gosh, we got Donald Trump off our case. He's not mad at us anymore." It never works. It's never going to work. And these cowardly media executives who tell themselves in these boardrooms, "My goodness, well, if we just give him $15 million, he'll shut the hell up." They just don't understand how Donald Trump operates. What you've done is just give the monster more food, and
Right.
and eventually
Right.
the monster will want more food. And I just don't understand. These are supposed to be smart people running these
No.
media companies,
No.
and really they're just craven cowards. They've been able to manipulate their way into these positions, but at the end of the day, they're just goddamn cowards. And the only way out of this for the media in this country is for these gutless executives to find their damn spines and stand the hell up to this guy. Honestly, I mean, I just to me, why, somebody I saw, to give credit to Chuck Schumer, I think he was saying the other day that now he wants to, you know, go after CBS over the way they edited the Trump interview.
Yeah.
I mean, there's Trump is he's just a shameless, he's a shyster, and why these companies don't see that to me is just really it's astounding. But,
Well, I would
we see
I
FIFA giving Trump a participation peace prize, I mean,
yes.
they're all
Soccer Peace
craven.
Prize.
It's just so appalling and grotesque.
Jim Acosta, will you come back?
Anytime. Would love to.